Okay, baby, 1 minute left. It's ran through the whole rapid cycle, rapid wash, without stopping. You hear the drain. The drain's on right now, draining water. There doesn't appear to be any water in the tub. We're getting ready to find out. There's the new unit, the new inlet valve. Nothing's leaking. It's all back together. Back here, where nothing's leaking. We're all plugged back in. Should be finishing up here anytime. Hopefully we'll open the door and there won't be any water in the tub. And if this one proves successful, then I'll put it on normal wash and we'll run a normal load with the same blankets. They'll be really clean. I won't use any more soap though. And we'll just make sure that it runs the same way on a normal wash. And if it does, then I think we can call it a victory. Alright, so come on. Finish up here. So what our initial problem is that we were getting water, hot water, flowing into the tub continuously. Even once the cycle was done, the hot water would continuously flow. Well, after doing some research, we found that this unit here, the inlet valve, has a couple solenoids. One is for cold water, one is for the hot water. And it bottlenecks that water flow into one single hose. So it'll open and close the hot water and the cold water as needed. And the computer there, determines that based on what cycle you put it on, if you're using hot water, cold water, or a combination of both. And so that will tell the solenoids when to open, when to close. Well, after doing some research, I discovered that if a solenoid is stuck open, then the tub will continue to fill with water even when the machine's not running. And that was the problem we were seeing, because once the cycle was finished, we'd open the door and water would flow out onto the floor. And that's because the hot water was just continuously allowing to be let into the tub. Now, if we turn the hot water off, that didn't happen, but we would get a different fault because there was not enough water pressure. And this switch right here, you can see the flashlight on that little white circular switch, that's a pressure switch. And so if it doesn't see enough water in the tub, which evidently it must use a combination of hot and cold water to get the pressure it needs to see in the tub. If it doesn't see enough, it'll throw a different fault. So just turning the hot water off doesn't help you any. It just interrupts the cycle when it's running with a fault code. So the solution that I decided after doing my research was to replace this inlet valve, hoping that that's what was causing the continuous flow of water, was a solenoid being stuck open. If a solenoid stuck closed, then you won't get enough water into the tub, and that'll throw another fault. But in this case, we were getting too much water. So I ordered a part from Parts Doctor online, matched it up with the model number of the washer. It was pretty easy to change. It's got one Torx bolt on the back, or Torx screw on the back, that holds it in, and then it's got the two electrical bracket plug-ins that go for the hot and the cold, and it's got a hose clamp, and that's it. You take the hose off, you take the electrical connections off, disconnect your hot and cold, take the Torx bit out, or the Torx screw out, you put the new one in, and it all just goes back together the way it came apart. So it's spinning down right now. Shows 1 minute left, and hopefully at the end of the cycle there won't be any water in the tub, because the hot water solenoid will close, and the cold water, of course. But the old one, this is the old one I took out. The old one here, I think this hot water solenoid, either the you know, and if I wanted to do it right, I could have taken a voltmeter and put it on it to see what kind of amps or what kind of volts I was drawing, to see if I was getting what I should be. I didn't do that. I just replaced the part. But I'm pretty confident, after reading what I read and the symptoms that we were seeing, that this was the culprit. So, but this is what I ended up changing out, the hot and cold water inlet valve. And you can see how it's two, the hot and the cold go into one valve right there, and then it's controlled by these solenoids. So it's spinning up, the drain is running, so it's pumping any water that was in there out. And that was another thing, we checked the pump first. That's the first thing I checked, to make sure that the pump was working correctly. And it was dirty and needed clean. It had some stuff in the trap, but other than that, it's been working fine. So we ruled that out pretty quick. And then, like I said, after doing some more research and turning the hot and cold water both on, we kind of, alright, it's spinning down now, so hopefully this is our moment of victory. And you can hear the pump running. So the pump's doing its job. It's sucking all the water out of there that it can. And you can see maybe in here, I don't see any water being let into the tub right now. Alright, the pump just kicked off. It's going to spin for another couple seconds, hopefully, and it's been on 1 minute for about 3 minutes now. Hopefully that's nothing. Still spinning down. But the good thing is I hear no water running into the tub. Okay, spin is done. It says it's clean. Everything's off. The cycle is clean. Just going to peek in here before I open the door, because I don't want to get flooded with water like I did last time. It looks as if there is no water up at the door. It looks like it finished correctly. So this is the moment of truth right here. Let's open the door and see what happens. And if water starts pouring on my boots, I'm going to shut this video off and be disappointed. Alright, here we go. And there we go. There's no water in the tub. The blankets are nice and spun dry, so to speak. I think we got it. So one more test. I'm going to run it on a normal cycle, because that was a rapid wash, which is not used commonly, but you know, can be. I expect it to run normally. I don't expect to have any problems, but one more test, and then I think that'll prove that we found out what it was and we got it fixed. So there you go. If you ever have this issue with your washer, with water filling up into the tub when it shouldn't be, and water left standing in the tub, and you rule out it's not the pump, then your inlet valve is the next part to look at. All right, I'm feeling good about this.